An arrest has been made in connection with the shooting death of Tupac Shakur.
Imagine being on top of the world only to have it all taken away in an instant. For these rappers, the stage lights went out too soon, and the justice they deserved never came. In a world where hip-hop and danger often collide, we're diving into the stories of 10 artists who were gunned down, leaving fans and families with nothing but heartbreak and unanswered questions. Let's break down the stories behind these unsolved tragedies. The very first name on the list is one of the greatest rappers of all time, Tupac. But the mystery surrounding his death has become nearly as legendary as the music he left behind. In September 1996, Tupac and Suge Knight left their hotel in Las Vegas, heading toward Suge's Club 662. As they drove down the strip, a Cadillac pulled alongside them, and gunshots erupted. Tupac was hit 4 times and rushed to the hospital, but he passed away days later. Since that night, countless theories have circulated about who orchestrated the attack. Some believe Diddy ordered the hit to escalate the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, while others suggest Suge Knight may have been involved as Tupac allegedly planned to leave Death Row Records. One of the most popular and controversial theories even claims that Tupac survived and is living a peaceful life, far from the public eye. Despite these speculations, no theory has been definitively proven, leaving fans to endlessly debate what truly happened that night in Las Vegas. Next in line, we got the Memphis rapper Snoody, who rose to fame in the early 2010s with his hit track Yayo, and he was affiliated with Yo Gotti's CMG label. After his career quieted down, fans were shocked when news broke that he was found with a gunshot wound to the neck, lying in a roadside ditch. The details remain unclear, but back in February, Houston police discovered Snoody after responding to reports of a shooting. A woman at the scene claimed she was trying to get her car out of a ditch when Snoody approached, allegedly brandishing a gun at her. An argument then erupted with others present, and during the altercation, a shot was fired, striking Snoody in the neck. This incident, like any other on this list, is filled with unanswered questions. No one knows why Snoody would have pointed a gun at a stranger or why he ended up fatally wounded. Police are still searching for those responsible for his death. At number 3, we got Big L. Big L was a promising Harlem rapper celebrated for his lyrical skill and complex wordplay, establishing himself as a significant figure in 90s East Coast rap. Known for his hits like Put It On, Big L was part of the Diggin' in the Crates crew alongside legends like Fat Joe. His influence on hip-hop remains powerful, often cited by rappers such as Nas and Eminem as a major inspiration. Tragically, Big L's life was cut short on February 15, 1999, when he was shot multiple times in a drive-by on West 139th Street in Harlem. Speculation about his murder suggests it may have been linked to a personal vendetta, potentially involving disputes linked to his brother's past connections. While his childhood friend Gerard Woodley was initially a suspect, he was later released due to a lack of evidence and was himself shot and killed in Harlem years later. Big L's posthumous legacy includes his 2000 album, The Big Picture, which went gold and featured collaborations with heavyweights like Tupac and Big Daddy Kane. Harlem honored him in 2023 by renaming a street corner in his memory, symbolizing both his lasting impact on hip-hop and a reminder of the ongoing gun violence that has claimed many artists' lives. Number 4 belongs to Biggie. The notorious B.I.G. was a monumental figure in hip-hop whose career tragically ended on March 9, 1997, when he was fatally shot in Los Angeles. His murder, occurring in a drive-by shooting, is often attributed to the high-stakes rivalry between the East Coast and West Coast hip-hop scenes. Despite the prominence of the case, it remains unsolved, hindered by the lack of witnesses willing to cooperate and by numerous theories about complex motives behind his death. His passing intensified calls for an end to the violence in hip-hop and highlighted issues within the LAPD, who faced criticism for their handling of the investigation. Speculation has pointed to potential involvement by gang members, disputes within the industry, and even possible police corruption, yet no one has been officially charged. The unresolved nature of Biggie's death remains a sad reminder of the turbulent 90s hip-hop scene and the unresolved pain within his community and fan base. Number 5 belongs to Dungan. Jay was rising fast in the southern rap scene, but in July 2 years ago, his life was tragically cut short in a deadly shooting at his home. According to his father, he and Jay were sitting outside when a truck pulled up, and 3 gunmen jumped out. The 2 tried to escape into the house, but 2 more shooters appeared from the side, opening fire. His father even managed to shoot back, but was hit twice in the arm, while Jay suffered at least 8 gunshot wounds. This intense daylight attack left the community shaken, yet authorities still have no suspects in the case. In the aftermath, Jay's friend F.G. Famous was reportedly arrested for a retaliatory shooting, although who he targeted remains unclear. That same day, 2 other shootings took place in the city, which investigators believe may be linked. Next on the list is Lil Marlo. Marlo was not only a close friend of Lil Baby's, he's actually the one who convinced Baby to leave the streets and get into rap. They were both fully into street life, but one day, Marlo jumped in the booth and managed to talk Baby into trying it too. While Lil Baby's career took off fast, Marlo kept one foot in the streets even though he was signed to Quality Control and had started making some noise in the industry. But he didn't reach the same level of fame as Baby before his life was cut short. 2 years ago, Marlo was found shot dead in his car on I-285 in Atlanta after taking multiple gunshots, causing him to crash. Since then, rumors have swirled that he was actually taken out in a hit meant for Baby, with talk of a bounty on Baby's head. Baby shut down those rumors, calling them all cap. The reality remains unclear about who took Marlo out, but it's believed he was the intended target. Tragically, Marlo's decision to stay connected to the streets may have ultimately led to his death, while Baby's leap into rap spared him from a similar fate. Bambino's story is something straight out of a horror story. Bambino Gold, an up-and-coming rapper, and his cousin Kendrick Stokes, who worked as a promoter, were last seen together at a county fair in Alabama. After the fair, they just disappeared. No clues, no leads. Their friends, family, and local authorities launched a search, but it seemed like they vanished without a trace. 2 weeks later, a passerby found Bambino Gold's body on a roadside, which led police to suspect Kendrick's body wasn't far off. Sure enough, they soon found him a few miles away. Police believe the cousins were likely killed somewhere else, then their bodies were dumped in the woods. Since then, the investigation has hit a dead end, with no solid evidence or leads to explain what really happened. Although it's been years, their families still hope that someday the case will be solved and they'll get the answers they need. At number 8, we got Drakeo the Ruler. Drakeo was one of the most talented West Coast rappers of his time, but his career never really took off the way it should have. He was constantly dealing with legal issues, and just when he was finally making it big, he was tragically killed backstage at a concert. To this day, no one's been charged with his death, though there's buzz that YG's crew might have been involved. Word is their crews clashed backstage, and that's when things got heated. Drakeo ended up stabbed in the neck. TMZ reported that cops are mostly working with cell phone footage to piece it all together, but the investigations hit a wall because no one wants to talk. Another theory links his murder to the recent killing of Slim 400, who was shot just a couple of weeks before. Hopefully Drakeo's family finds some closure, but it's looking tough if nobody steps up to help. The second to last, we got the tragic story of Jimmy Wopo. Jimmy Wopo, a promising rapper from Pittsburgh linked to Wiz Khalifa, made a quick impact in hip-hop, racking up millions of streams and even working with major artists like 21 Savage. Despite only being in the game for a few years, he was already gaining serious recognition. But just as he was rising, Jimmy's life was tragically cut short in a drive-by shooting in Pittsburgh's Hill District. The police claimed he had deep street ties, even nicknaming him the Hill District Terror. They alleged he ran with the 1100 gang and suspected him of involvement in at least 2 other murders. Though Wopo's death has left many questions, no one's ever been charged for his murder. Some believe his street connections and reputation may have made him a target, but the case remains unsolved, leaving a void in the hip-hop world and in his community. KTS Dre and his brother KTS Vaughn were known as 2 of the most notorious rappers in Chicago, building their reputations through a mix of music and street affiliations. Their crew KTS had long-standing beef with rival groups like NLMB, which kept them in constant tension with other crews. In 2021, Dre's past caught up with him when he was arrested for violating parole. His fiancée posted a $5,000 bond, but even though he made bail, the authorities didn't release him until the next day. When Dre was finally released, his fiancée and grandmother were there to bring him home. They were barely out of the jail's doors when 2 cars pulled up, and gunmen unleashed a barrage of bullets. Dre was hit an unbelievable 64 times, and the attack left him dead right outside the jail. His grandmother and fiancé were also injured but survived. Even in a city known for its violence, this brazen hit shocked many as it happened right outside a correctional facility. While rumors suggest that NLMB might have been involved, no one has been arrested and the case remains unsolved. These 10 rappers lost their lives way too soon, and still, justice is nowhere to be found. It's crazy how many lives were cut short and how much these artists could have contributed to the culture if they were still here. Whether it's street beef, personal disputes, or just bad luck, these untold stories are a reminder of how the game can be ruthless. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think was behind some of these hits? And don't forget to check out the next video where we dive even deeper into the mysteries surrounding the hip-hop world.